And now, the Van Wert Civic Theater Awards Ceremony.
Welcome to the Van Wert Civic Theater 2019 and 2020 Annual Meeting and Awards Banquet. We want to welcome all of you with our new normal. We hope you'll enjoy. Thanks to Marianne Falk and all the helpers. It should be a very enjoyable evening. So sit back and enjoy. Now with our Van Wert Civic Theater family that we all are, we have lost a few of our dear friends. We want to have a moment of silence for Jack Paulus, Esther Lay, and Rick Lee. So please take a moment and reflect on their beautiful things that they've done for our theater. Thank you. So sit back and enjoy the evening that has been put together for all of us. So I'm going to have a beer. You may need a wine, you may need a drink. But it wouldn't be the Van Wert banquet without a drink. So here's to all of our Van Wert Civic Theater family. Good. Oh shit, nobody told me I had to wear pants.
Our annual Secretary's Report with Amy McCon.
Our season began with a strategic planning session attended by the Board of Directors. The organization's strengths and growth opportunities were discussed, and some long-term goals were defined. As rehearsals were underway for the first show, work continued on the implementation of our new ticketing system that enables patrons to buy tickets and select seats online and allows the theater to collect credit card payments. Our facilities and finance committees were kept busy dealing with the insurance claim for the theater's wind-damaged roof. The insurance company covered replacement of the damaged portion. However, the entire roof needed replaced. So the committees began to secure estimates and work on some financing options. The Facilities Committee also worked on numerous maintenance projects throughout the year, including capping roof vents, sealing brick, painting, lighting, and wiring projects, and updating the women's restroom. The Governance Committee worked on organizational calendar to have a record of items that need to be taken care of during the year. In addition, they worked on developing job breakdowns and gathered past and present organizational documents. These documents are now stored on a drive set up for the board by Marianne. In December, the theater participated in Van Wert County Foundation's Giving Tuesday. The donations and match by the foundation resulted in $8,450 being added to our endowment fund. The theater also received a grant for the development of a Young Directors Program, the brainchild of Marianne. In total, the theater secured $16,243 through successful grant requests and fundraising actions. The annual party was held in December. The annual patron party was held in December, and it was also around that time that the board began to consider changes to the structure for next season. The need for change became apparent when one of the scheduled shows had to be replaced due to low audition turnout. After much deliberation, the board voted to redesign next season to consist of 2 musicals, 1 straight play, and a children's production. The season's 4th production was underway when concern over the pandemic began to result in cancellation of events. Now, the final weekend of that show was able to be held due to the audience being able to safely socially distance while attending. By March, the pandemic had changed everything, including the board meetings, which were now held via video conference. The board spent April and May contemplating if the final show could take place, and ultimately it was decided to cancel it and all summer youth production. Due to the time and work already invested in that fifth show, Mamma Mia, the board plans to make that the first show of next season. The biggest concern facing us now is what will happen when the pandemic has been contained. Will patrons be reluctant to return to the theater? While we are facing some anxiety for the future, I feel confident that actors will once again perform on the civic stage. The question is, when?
Hello, Van Wert Civic Theater fans. My name is Chad Craner, and I'm on the nominating committee for the Board of Directors election for the Van Wert Civic Theater. I'm on the nominating committee along with Lori Allen and Barb East. The four candidates running for three positions that are opening up are Christy Bidlack, Trent Gossett, Terry Place, and Randy Wieging. Now, the current board members are, with the terms expiring in 2020, Trent Gossett, who replaced Steve Lane because he resigned, Doug Rooms, and Randy Wieging. The terms that expire in 2021 include Keith Allen, Lisa Eichler, and Amy McCann. And the terms that expire in 2022 include Burdette Bullenball, Ed Eichler, and Mary Ann Falk. They are our current board members. So the board members that win the election for this year that will serve for 3-year term include Trent Gossett, Terry Place, and Randy Wieging. Congratulations to Trent, Terry, and Randy.
The State of the Theater Address with Doug Grooms.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be taking a 15-minute intermission. Complimentary punch and coffee are available in the lower lobby. This is the longest intermission I can ever recall. It is uncomfortable when a house has to hold a curtain. I wonder if something broke. I hope everybody's okay. Will the show even go on? What happened? We all know what happened. A global pandemic happened. A global pandemic unlike any of us has ever witnessed in our lifetimes. Everything that we thought was normal has been paused. Families, communities, schools, places of worship, businesses, industries, transportation, everything just paused and shut down. Retooled, and now trying to come back. Van Wert Civic Theater obviously is not untouched. We are paused. We finished our last performance of Leaving Iowa on March 15th after we learned a new term, social distancing, on March 12th. And then by March 17th, all school buildings and non-essential operations soon followed being closed, including Van Wert Civic Theater's rehearsals for Mamma Mia. I'm sitting here in the auditorium, and I'm looking at a set that is nearly complete and ready to go. But it looks like someone hit the pause button. Intermission. And I'm thinking, will this show even go on? On behalf of the board of directors, let me give you the best answer possible. The current plans are to perform Mamma Mia when it is determined that it is safe to do so. And this might be in September, or this might be in January, or this might even be a full year from now. We simply do not know. It might mean that we have to limit the number of seats that can be sold so that audience members can be physically distanced. And we might have to keep our gathering below a threshold number that might be imposed upon all of us in all gatherings. We just don't know. We do know that even if a miracle happened and we were allowed to stage a production right away, that it would take us at least a lead time of about 6 weeks just to organize, obtain the rights, release, rehearse, and publicize the show. The bottom line is, however, at this moment, the intention is Mamma Mia is going to be the next show performed on the Van Wert Civic Theater stage. And this little twist in the plot is subsequently going to cause us to need to make some changes regarding our previously planned 2021 season. We had 5 productions chosen. We were ready to announce them in May. Right now, our patrons should be thumbing through their brochures, thinking about how many tickets they would anticipate needing and at what level that they would want to support VWCT as patrons. But right now, we don't know what our next season will look like. Makes it tough to sell a season. Will we be able to bring performers and crew together to rehearse and perform any of our anticipated shows? Will we be able to meet anticipated guidelines for cleaning and sanitation of the building? Will we be allowed to even gather an audience to attend a performance? Will we be able to meet anticipated guidelines for seating an audience in a socially distanced arrangement? We just don't know. One thing that I do know is that Van Wert Theater is in good shape. Our buildings are looking better than they have in many years. Thanks to some grant money from the Van Wert County Foundation and from accumulated donations from many fans, we got a brand new roof that will be covering the entirety of the theater building. Thanks to many hours of donated labor and from several volunteers, we've had many maintenance projects completed, and if I was allowed in, I guess I would show off the spruced up women's restroom, but that's not my zone. I'm really impressed with all of the new wiring and the LED lighting throughout the building. There's another thing that I know, and even though our productions are paused, we still have obligations of the financial sort that have not been paused. Outside of our costs directly related to productions of our shows, it takes Van Wert Civic Theater approximately $3,000 each month to cover our basic expenses such as utilities, mortgage, insurance, other business expenses. At this moment, we have no income from ticket sales, and we do not know when we'll be able to sell our next ticket. And so a very difficult thing that I do know is that without any new income, Van Wert Civic Theater's accounts are going to be emptied shortly after the beginning of next year. That's a problem. So as we move into the summer, Van Wert Civic Theater Board of Directors are going to be making a lot of decisions in determining how to best proceed down many uncharted paths. How do we raise revenue? How do we fulfill our mission of providing opportunities to perform and entertainment to our community? We don't know exactly what any of this is going to look like. We should all be prepared, however, to anticipate that things probably are going to be different. And different, by the way, does not mean bad. Different. Different could mean some amazing new opportunities. And from my position, I would just implore all of us in the Van Wert Civic Theater community to continue to give the board and all the leaders our trust and our support, and even more so, that we be willing to be ready to pitch in and lend a hand or to give $1 when the call goes out. We are paused in the longest intermission. At the moment, there is uncertainty and too many unknowns. More so, above that, there are risks. We have risks to the health of our volunteers and to audiences. We have risks to the financial stability of our organization. These risks and the uncertainty are not unique to Van Wert Civic Theater. It's common. It's a common thread amongst every aspect of our society, from our families to our businesses. We've got a whole lot of good company in turning all that uncertainty into worry and anxiety. Some days it is hard, but my challenge to myself has always been to choose to remain positive and hopeful the best that I can, because positive and hopeful feels a whole lot better than spiraling around in worry and panic. One thing that helps me remain positive is anticipation. Anticipation of what can be and what will be. I'm looking at this set, and I know Van Wert Civic Theater shows will be back. And when our shows come back, just imagine. Imagine when the lights dim and the sound from that orchestra rises and there's that set, finished. And an audience in the seats, performers on the stage, a story being told. My heart just starts to quicken sitting here thinking about it. Oh, what a joy. Oh, and to anticipate that ovation that will follow when we are back. Because we will be back.
Presenting the company choice for Assassins, Krista Manning.
First to Doug Grooms, thank you so much for believing in me and having the confidence in me that we could pull this off, and presenting this to the board to put it on the season. And thank you to the board for having the courage to do a show that you never know how this is going to be received, especially in a small community. So thank you for that. Next would be Deb Duncan Paul. She was my right-hand girl for this. I discovered that her mind is absolutely as twisted as mine, and even more so. There were times where I was like, oh, wow. And all of the props that she made and the support that she gave. And on top of that, stepping outside of her bounds and getting up on stage. So I was uber proud of her for that. Next would be Sarah Glover. As Sarah did all of the research into these characters and provided bios and what have you for the entire cast. And I really appreciated that. So thank you, Sarah. Which brings me to... Well, no. First, I want to thank the entire cast. Everybody put so much into this. I mean, even from auditions. I mean, Chris showed up in full costume and completely in the zone, and it was amazing. It's not easy. And Dee, thank you so much. This music is so difficult. I mean, Sondheim. Need I say more? But you did a beautiful job, and the pit sounded amazing every night, and thank you so much. Which brings me to award winner is going to be Chad. He went above and beyond. These posters that are behind me that hang in my office and I have the privilege of looking at every day, he did all of those for the entire set. I went with him and asked if he would help me, and he just ran with it. He did the promotional headshots of everybody in the wanted posters and whatnot in the newspapers, and it was just so cool and so true to the show. And then he was there helping build and hang things and paint and keep my morale up. He and Doug both spent a lot of late nights there with me, and I greatly appreciate that. And I think one of the coolest things with Chad was he reminded me of why I love theater in the first place. Chad is relatively new to theater, and he just had that hunger and that awe and innocence about it all, that it was just a reminder of why we all started this, whether it be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And I thank him very much. And then on top of doing all this extra stuff for me, then he put in an amazing performance as Lee Harvey Oswald. So thank you, Chad.
Presenting the company choice for Making God Laugh, John Hodges.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Hodges, director of the Van Wert production of Making God Laugh. I had a lot of fun doing this show, and I am humbly grateful to the entire cast and crew for helping make this show possible. I would like to recognize one person in particular, Brianna Boggs, who went above and beyond with a very large role for the show. Once again, thank you, Brianna, and thank you to Van Wert for letting me do this.
Presenting the company choice for Savannah Sipping Society, Mary Ann Falk.
Hey everybody. I'm here to talk about the Company Choice Award for Savannah Sipping Society. I'm on my back porch, my veranda, and I have Marla Faye's magic purse, and yes, it does still work. Let's talk about this beautiful little show, Savannah Sipping Society, that I was honored and privileged to direct. I wasn't originally scheduled to direct this show. I was slated for another production, and the board, and specifically Doug Grooms, came up with the idea that we would move some directors around, and I said yes, I will take on Savannah. So thanks, Doug, for that. But it happened very last minute, and Savannah is a very deceivingly simple show. It's women in a not very big set. There's a lot of moving parts, and everybody pitched in. So I cannot say enough for my backstage crew, my helpers that I knew were there, my booth buddy Burdette. The cast worked on their own costumes, and we made it work. But there was someone from the very beginning who just stepped up, and I knew I could trust, that would take my vision of what this place, this veranda, needed to look like, and would make it work for me. And spent many hours just doing what needed to be done. And again, the set looked deceivingly simple, but there was actually a lot to that very simple set that took hours of work. And so Randa's Veranda would have not been there if it wasn't for my Company Choice Award recipient, Chad Craner. Thanks, Chad. It's always a privilege to work on a project with you.
Presenting the company choice for leaving Iowa, Doug Grooms.
What am I doing out here in the field? Well, maybe I'm in Iowa. Or maybe I just left Iowa. Or maybe I'm just making stuff up because I like to pretend. After all, this is theater. The Company Choice, or the Director's Choice Award for Van Wert Civic Theater's production of Leaving Iowa is presented to, wait for it, Shiloh Whitwer. Yay, Shiloh! Yay! I hear all the cheers right now. Standing ovation. Shiloh, you were the perfect person to show up for auditions. You were perfect for the role of Sis in our production. I am so appreciative that you took that risk to show up, and I'm so appreciative that you made yourself vulnerable to join with our civic theater community. Thank you very much. Shiloh, it was a true pleasure on my part as a director to watch you evolve the character of Sis through our hard work in our rehearsals and on performance nights. To see you work the stage was a whole lot of fun. You did a whole lot of heavy lifting, and we are very much appreciative to that. Shiloh, unlike me who likes to pretend, you truly are outstanding in your field. Congratulations. See you soon.
And now, what we've all been waiting for, the awards.
Welcome to Van Wert Civic Theater Awards Banquet by Video. So glad you're here. I'm Jerry Zimmerman. I'm the awards chairman this year, and I'd like to let you know that our judges this year were Lindsay Taylor, Heidi Raymond Munoz, and Megan Meyer, and they were very impressed with the season. So we're going to have several awards to pass out tonight, and eventually you will get the award. We're going to start with some of the acting awards first. Our first award this evening is a Merit in Acting as Cordelia Covington in Savannah Sipping Society, Stephanie Wagner. Our next award is a Merit in Acting as the Balladeer in Assassins, Joe Warneman. We have a Merit in Set Design for Leaving Iowa, Doug Grooms. Here we go on with some more awards. We have a Merit in Ensemble for Making God Laugh, Kedron Rother, Stan Lippy, and Jonathan Hodges. All right, we moved down here by the piano to give out some musical awards. Our first one is Merit in Musical Performance for Assassins, Stacy Reif. another location in the Vanward Civic Theater, and we're going to do a costuming awards. We have an excellence in costuming for Assassins, Barb Wilson. Here we are in the light booth to give our lighting awards. Excellence in light design for Savannah Sipping Society, Mary Ann Falk. We have an excellence in set design for Assassins, Krista Manny. In lighting design for Assassins, Mary Ann Falk. Excellence in acting in Making God Laugh, Ed Eichler. Excellence in musical duet, Assassins, Christopher Butterf and Kristen Lee. Excellence in acting in Leaving Iowa, Dolores Foreman. Now we're back here in the props room for our prop award. We have an outstanding in props for Savannah Sipping Society. We have an outstanding in costumes to the cast of Savannah Sipping Society. We have an outstanding in set design for Savannah Sipping Society to Mary Ann Falk. We have an outstanding in set dressing for Assassins. Outstanding in acting, Savannah Sipping Society, Nicole Merkel. Outstanding in acting in Savannah Sipping Society, Amy McCon. Outstanding in acting and musical performance for Assassins, Julie Crawford. Outstanding in acting, Savannah Sipping Society, Jan Miller. Outstanding in acting, Savannah Sipping Society, Terry Place. Outstanding in Acting and Musical Performance for Assassins, Kristen Lee. We have an Outstanding in Ensemble for Savannah Sipping Society. Outstanding in Directing for Savannah Sipping Society, Mary Ann Falk.
We are here in front of Van Wert Civic Theater to present the award for the 2019-2020 Production of the Year. We had some great shows this year, but congratulations to the cast and crew of Savannah Sipping Society for being chosen as the production of the 2019-2020 season.
The Trustee Award, presented by Doug Grooms.
Hey friends, we're on a mission. I need you to come with me. But this mission, it's a secret mission. You see, every year, Van Wert Civic Theater, the board of directors, we present a trustees award to one individual who has contributed themselves in their talent, their time, their gifts to Van Wert Civic Theater to support us in the fulfillment of our mission. And our mission, our secret mission, is to reveal who is going to receive the 2019-2020 Trustees Award. Stick with me on this mission. Get some lights on. Oh yes, the lobby. Picture board from the last production. Donor board. Auditorium. Box office. And director and authorized tech personnel only. The stairway to the tech booth. Sometimes super secret, sometimes sacred. Ascending the stairs, we find lots of empty chairs. This is COVID after all. And the tech booth. This chair says sound. There's the soundboard. The countertop. A light board with a lighting plot laid out, ready to go. An empty chair. It says lights. An empty dark stage and auditorium. All this journey. Super secret surprise journey to let Mary Ann Falk know that she has been named the recipient of the 2019-2020 Van Wert Civic Theater Trustees Award. This is Mary Ann's chair. Every production this season, she did the lighting design and the lighting performance from this perch in the lighting booth. She's done so much for us this year. She directed Savannah Sipping Society as well as running lights. Mary Ann has been our web administrator, handling everything technology-wise, which has been an amazing task that I barely understand. She has shepherded us through acquiring a software and company to help us manage online ticketing and our customer relations, I'm saying it wrong, dashboard. Anyways, Marianne understands it. Marianne has also handled the marketing for the Van Wert Civic Theater and served on the board of directors. She does a lot for us. If you go down in the basement and look at the pictures on the wall, Marianne can be found all along the north wall, performing on our stage, and even on the south wall, which I think is an honor held by very few people to grace both walls. Congratulations, Marianne. You are truly amazing. You are an asset to this theater. I don't know where I would be as the president of the board of directors without your assistance at board meetings and without your heavy lifting to make things work day in and day out and to keep us moving forward. If you were sitting here, I would give you a hearty thank you, thank you, thank you, along with the congratulations, and also tell you that we love you. Congratulations, Marianne.
And so here we are, officially at the end of another season. This season is like one we have never had. I thank the board of directors for the trustee award. It is an honor and a privilege. I'd just like to remind everybody that we each have our own individual gifts that benefit the theater greatly in any given year. And every trustee award winner is given their award based on those gifts that they were able to give for that season that were important. And this just happened to be my year. So I encourage us as we think about getting back to the normal, to being on stage, to creating our audience members, to rehearsing, blocking. Who thought we'd miss blocking? I encourage us all to think about what is it that we can contribute to the theater that is our gift, that will be something that we can do at the highest level, that will make what community theater is to be the best. And so I can't wait to see all of you again. I do miss my theater people. Be well. We'll see you soon. And be thinking about what are those gifts that we're going to need as we reopen.